Top news stories, Macomb County roads. Nick.
Another bridge in the area is out, and this one could be closed for a lengthy bit of time. Coming up, I'll tell you just how the county plans to fix this problem.
Legislative bills introduced and our Shelby trees. All this plus much more, but back to that top news story. Macomb County officials met recently, all saying they've had enough with these crumbling roads. Nick Buckler reports on scene.
Another road closed? That's been the story for years across southeast Michigan, and Tuesday, Macomb County officials met to voice their displeasure for the lack of funding to fix our ailing roads.
The legislature right now, for years, has ignored a responsibility they've had in providing leadership for funding for roads throughout the entire state of Michigan.
Ray Township has only 8 access roads for emergency vehicles, and after the closure of the 32-mile road bridge, 5 of these 8 roads are closed.
We desperately need something done here to improve our ability to serve our residents. I understand cross traffic from commercial and residential and entertainment things are important, okay? But when it comes to lives, I think we desperately need to have these bridges opened.
And just how much will this bridge cost alone?
The bridge replacement itself is $2.1 million. If you add in engineering costs to design it and inspect it, $2.5 million.
Although that is just an estimate, it's a lot of money considering there is currently no funding for this project. But there has to be a logical reason, doesn't there?
I think it's lack of leadership, and I say that for this reason. Right now, too many people are worried about their political careers. They're worried about their very next election, and I don't really think it's general elections anymore. I think the bigger problem right now is the primary elections, where people are worried that they're going to get targeted in a primary if they vote for a certain thing or they do something that's right. Unfortunately, leadership takes courage. Sometimes it's going against the grain. It's doing something that may be controversial, but doing something that has an overall good for those that you represent, and that's the entirety of the constituency. So I think right now the biggest problem is they're more concerned about election seasons coming up in their primaries than they are the real issues facing us, and that's without question roads and road funding.
This is a legislative issue. The legislature needs to put politics aside. Whether the funding is coming from additional revenues that are more simple and carefully thought through than Proposal 1, or whether they're coming from other cost cuts, such as Pete Lucito's idea that's languishing in committee due to politics and due to vested interests of others. Something has to be done. I need to put politics aside, reach down deep, and come up with a solution to this problem because it's impacting real people's lives.
Now, the 32-mile road bridge will get fixed by 2016, even if that means putting off another project to do so. For Shelby This Week, I'm Nick Buckler.
There's no roads deal, but a long list of bills recently came out. Charlie Cadado reports.
A lot of people are frustrated. Is it rightfully so?
Yes, it is.
It's been months in the making. Lawmakers have been trying to pass a roads bill, but there's still no agreement.
It's time to explore other options if you can't pass that which is before the governor.
Shelby State Rep Pete Lucito says they're still working on finding the money. Voters rejected Prop 1 earlier this year, which Lucito says sent a strong message to lawmakers.
Let's go ahead and look at what the taxpayers did. They said, absolutely not. I don't want a tax raise. I don't want to do anything other than use the existing funds that we have. It's hard to get $1.2 billion, let alone $1.4 billion when you have to pay back MDOT because the money's not there.
Roads may be causing a headache, but lawmakers managed to introduce 54 other bills this week. Lucito sponsored 3 of them.
Like a family, if one child's sick, the family still has to grow and still has to prosper and still has to get things done as a family. So those bills that were introduced, they weren't passed, they were all introduced. The 54 bills were bills that were back-burnered until we went back into session.
2 of the 3 bills proposed by Lucito relate directly to Shelby Township. The first to establish funds for a study on the impact of gas and oil drilling.
Peter Lucito and Representative Weber both have bills in Lansing right now that are stuck in committee.
That was months ago. Lucito says the proposed bill is different, but it still impacts the future of drilling in Shelby.
We don't have a policy in oil and gas drilling in residential communities.
And the next bill on compost. The issue was recently brought up in Washington Township, causing mixed debate on where compost should go. Lucito is asking the same question.
I wanted also to find out from the state of Michigan, because they still don't have a policy, what are we supposed to do when a township, city, village, county doesn't have a spot to do composting, but we need a spot.
The proposed bill would allow municipalities to impose regulations on composting facilities. Lucido says the bills will go through committee in the coming months because the House isn't back in session until after Labor Day. For Shelby This Week, I'm Charlie Cadotto.
Okay, Charlie, and we'll keep you updated on those legislation bills. We've been monitoring the 24-mile road construction project, and more closely, we've been watching over our beautiful Shelby Township trees on that road. Shelby hired an arborist to keep the safety of these beautiful trees that make a canopy over the road through town from Mound to Shelby roads. Kay Sickinator from Owen Tree Service has been working with road workers, keeping the safety of our trees top priority. With construction almost done, Kay gives us an update on how the trees are doing.
And there that folks might be seeing and what they might be concerned about. What you might see in any one of the given trees is broken branches up top. It'll just look like browned out leaves on a small portion. And that's just basically where the machinery had hit it and snapped that twig. Now all that trimming will be done when they're finished with the project. He believes around between November, December, something like that. So we'll get out there and get all that cleaned up, and so next spring you shouldn't see a lot of broken anything. And honestly, everything's looking pretty good. Now there are some trees that aren't looking great, but it's not due to construction, so I thought I'd bring that to your attention. And one of them is the oaks, white oaks in particular. If you just go east of Shelby on the south side of the road, there's a lot of, they look very yellow. That's called chlorosis, and what that indicates is trees aren't obtaining the nutrients that they need. And that's usually because our soil isn't what they love. So it is a serious problem, and it's something arborists can help with. It has nothing to do with construction. So if you see, they're looking yellow, and some of them are dying back pretty hard. And the other problem I'm seeing out there, which is killing trees, unfortunately, is the Scotch pine is getting root collar weevil. I investigated it. When I first saw it, I knew it wasn't related to the construction, but I wanted to let the Shelby folks know. And specifically the county that would be responsible for taking the trees down. So there's a couple of dead pines again on Shelby Road on the north side, and then more dying, unfortunately. But that's a tough, serious pest that they do get. So, and yeah, an arborist could help you with that too. If you have one and you're like, mine's kind of looking funny, you might want to give an arborist a call and get that taken care of. But otherwise, things are moving along, and I think we've maintained a pretty nice canopy. I think folks will notice, hopefully all they really notice is, the street's still shaded and all that. Now, yeah, the canopy's up higher, but it's still nice and full. I'm thrilled with that.
Pinewood nematode is a disease contracted by beetles who carry the disease from tree to tree. This is much like the Dutch elm disease. You can't save a tree that has it, you can only prevent it. Coming up, Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over campaign and miracle boxes for our troops overseas. Stay tuned.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Michigan Office of Highway Safety Planning unveiled a statewide effort to step up enforcement of drinking and driving. The Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over campaign recently kicked off at Oakland University. We talked to officials about goals and their combination of outreach, education, and strict enforcement.
That's one shot, one beer, one drink, 93 days in jail.
Beginning today through Labor Day, which is September 7th, you'll have local police departments, sheriff's offices, and the Michigan State Police doing stepped-up drunk driving and seatbelt enforcement in every county across the state. These are extra patrols on top of what the police departments would normally do as part of the Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over campaign.
This is a group effort between the MSP, our county partners, and our local partners.
We're joining forces with the rest of the law enforcement agencies in our area and saying that, when you come back to school, as they said from the podium, not only are you bringing laptops and computers and your books and everything associated with the classes, but also bring a checklist of what to do if you've had too much to drink and get yourself home responsibly and safely.
Don't do it, or make a plan. Before you go out for the evening, decide how you're going to get home. You're going to have a DD, are you going to call a cab? Are you going to spend the night at your friend's house? Just make a decision.
169 drunk driving arrests were made at last year's crackdown. Remember to always have a designated driver. Yet another twist to the fatal Stony Creek crash that happened May 8th. Survivor Greg Bobchick is being charged with allowing an intoxicated person to drive a vehicle. This is one of many allegations added against the 17-year-old Shelby Township teen who survived the crash along with Joseph Nara. Both 18-year-old Joe Nara and Bobchick were in court recently for charges of minors consuming, purchasing, or possessing alcohol in relation to that car crash. The court date was then pushed back to gather more research. Bobchick is charged with a misdemeanor punishable of up to 90 days in jail and a $500 fine. The charge says he allowed 17-year-old Jonathan Manolios to drive the Jaguar, even though Bobchick knew he had been drinking. But Manolios pressured Bobchick to let him drive the high-end sports car. Manolios, Emmanuel Malage, and Michael Wells all died. Bobchick and Nara were critically injured. Manolios had a blood alcohol content level of 0.08%. Bobchick is fighting the allegations. A hearing is set for September 10th in Romeo Court. Recent reports show auto thefts are on the decline, but there's still some car thefts out there. Here's some new numbers. In Macomb County, there's 1,684 car thefts a year. 58 car thefts a day in Michigan, and the most stolen vehicle, the 2004 Chevy Impala. We hear more from our Shelby Police Detective, Jason Schmittler.
We have a few a month, but like I said, it's not every day. And usually some of those circumstances are the cars being taken without permission and stuff. They have extenuating circumstances. Some ways to prevent them would be to lock your vehicle, park in a place that's well lit, be aware of your surroundings, definitely roll your windows up, and don't leave the keys in the ignition. You can also put a lock on the steering wheel so that's visible to the thieves. If they try to take your car, they're going to go somewhere else.
The most popular month for car theft? August. So keep your doors locked, keep your keys with you, make sure your garage door opener isn't visible in your car. Over 100 volunteers came out for one purpose, to fill boxes. But these boxes aren't just any old box. They're miracle boxes for our troops overseas. The Desert Angel Group held a packing party at the GOP headquarters in Utica recently. Volunteers brought all sorts of food and snacks for the miracle boxes. Chairman of Republican Party of MACOMB tells us what kind of stuff they're packing.
Well, it's amazing the things they need. One of the big things is baby wipes because they're in the sand and they don't necessarily have water to get the sand out of their eyes and their mouths and everything. Another thing that is very popular are flavor mixes for water. They tell us that the water is yellow and doesn't taste very good, and if it's 120 degrees, they have to stay hydrated. So that toiletries, shampoo, soap, we have packages of everything from sardines and tuna to macaroni and cheese, and just anything that will make their lives nicer.
As we recently reported on Shelby this week, Miracle Boxes are named in honor of Private First Class Joseph Miracle, who gave the ultimate sacrifice. Local resident Emily was at the packing party. She held a coloring event to put drawings in every single Miracle Box. Scout Troop Pack 1973 were also at the packing party.
I'm helping pack for the soldiers. Mostly girl stuff, like soap and food. Helping pack boxes for soldiers makes me happy.
Rosaries are hidden in pairs of socks for the troops. An airborne Army veteran volunteers his time for current military.
They're a long way off, and I can just feel that these boxes are going to make a lot of people real happy. Great! I can just feel the warmth.
This is the second year the GOP has done this. Local churches and other organizations donate as well. Desert Angels doesn't just send one box, they'll send as many as they can to the men, women, and canine serving.
It makes me feel like I'm able to do something important for the people who put their lives on hold to protect me and to protect this country, and some of them give it all. They give all.
Louise Downs says it costs $15 to send one package and takes about a week to get these miracle boxes out to the troops and help change the world one box at a time.
Louise Downs is wonderful to work with. Her husband is a retired military man, and Louise Downs is terrific to work with, as is her whole group.
God bless our military.
USA! USA! If you know someone who's serving and want to send them a miracle box, go to the website on your screen. And before heading back to school, these apps on phones will help you get ready to tackle the new school year. Lala Lunchbox. This app makes dreaded lunchbox duties a little easier. Kids can select foods for their meals in advance. Next, Retail Me Not. When you're school shopping, check out this site for more coupons from more than 50,000 stores in the area. Next, Archive. With this app, you can reduce paper clutter by saving all your artists' artwork digitally. Next, Cozy. This all-in-one family tool organizes everyone's schedules. Next, Khan Academy. This app offers practice exercises and learning for kindergartners till high school. Some awards worth mentioning: Shelby Township's Trinity Community Care, which provides free dental and medical care to those in need, has 2 prestigious doctors that were awarded recently. Medical Director Kim Gertzinger was awarded Emergency Physician of the Year by Michigan College of Emergency Physicians, and Trinity Community Care's Dental Director Robert Anilak was awarded the Dental Citizen of the Year Award by the Michigan Dental Association. Congrats to those 2 doctors who have done so much for our community. Every fall, family members, friends, and coworkers get together and walk to prevent suicide, raise awareness, and end the stigma that surrounds depression and mental disorders. The Suicide Prevention Walk is at Stony Creek on September 20th. Check-in time is 11:30. Race time is 1 p.m. With each stride, honor loved ones lost and raise funds to support AFPS's mission. Check out the link to sign up or for more information. And one more 5K run we want to mention, the Veterans Memorial Run. It's on Sunday, November 8th. This 5K race course is at Maystecker Park. Online registration is open until November 6th. Only $20 to run. The 5K race starts at noon. Proceeds go to the Shelby Veterans Memorial, so sign up at www.eastsideracingcompany.com and come run with heroes. It's back by popular demand. The Citizens Police Academy is taking applications for the fall session, which will be held on Thursday evenings from 7 till 9 p.m. Classes begin October 1st and go through November 12th. Anyone can sign up for this class. The mission is to help show residents how police officers perform their duties and how our police department serves the community. The curriculum includes narcotic investigations, criminal investigations, family abuse, dispatch center, traffic stops, and more. Applications can be picked up at the police station and submitted until September 16th. A recycled art contest was a big hit in Shelby recently. The Solid Waste Recycling Committee put together their 5th annual Recycled Art Contest. Residents could make beautiful artwork, basically out of recycled trash. Residents at this year's art show could vote on which artwork was their favorite trashy treasure. And here's a photograph of Thomas Iacobelli, who got 2nd place. He's pictured here with his abstract sculpture. Thank you to Marietta Crabtree for that photo. This contest is to help raise awareness of recycling and creativity. The Arts and Apples event is coming up with new and exciting activities along with the old traditional favorites. It's the 50th anniversary of this long-standing Arts and Apples event, starting Friday, September 11th. Here's more from the executive director.
We have our acoustic stage and our main stage programmed with community and regional acts. We have 290 artists from every medium that you can think of. We have metalsmithing, painting, drawing, ceramics, photography, jewelry, a whole host of artists that'll be there. We have artists representing 33 different states. And actually we have one artist from Budapest, Hungary this year. So yeah, it's very exciting. We had quite a few applications this year, and so that's always exciting to see the interest nationwide. We did just find out that we were ranked by Sunshine Artist Magazine number 15 in the nation, which is pretty exciting because we outrank Ann Arbor Art Fair as well as the Arts Beats and Eats. Really? So that's kind of exciting, to be able to have that feather in our cap. You will see we have 40 different sponsors that are sponsoring this year. So one of the exciting new features this year is Genesis Credit Union is sponsoring a high school chalk art competition. So just north of the duck pond on the sidewalk, they start drawing at 4 o'clock on Friday, September 11th. They'll be completing, they have 3 hours to complete their drawings. But that's something new and exciting that people will be able to see as they walk through the park.
About 200,000 people are expected to come out. A new addition is admission wristbands. It's a $5 donation to get in, and that money goes to local nonprofits and Paint Creek. Also in the festival guide, you can get a 5% discount on downtown merchants. Plus, South Street Skate Shop is doing Bling Your Board. You can bring in a skateboard and get it customized. And lastly is food.
Yeah, you'll see everything from barbecue to we have vegan, a new vegan food vendor this year, but you'll also have the traditional elephant ears and the things to really to appeal to all palates.
There's a new documentary on Arts and Apples that'll be airing September 9th at the Community House, bringing back founders of this 50th anniversary. And speaking of apples, we've all been talking about our apple crops over the years, but here's the juicy truth. Apple trees must be pollinated for the best fruit. Some of us may think that our beautiful Michigan apple trees and walnut trees aren't producing right because of the cold winter or a new virus. Well, it's actually because of pollination. Bees and other pollinators were lacking in their pollination. Fruits that aren't fertilized or pollinated get defective fruit. Around the month of June, the tree drops unproductive fruit early. This is where the clever name June drop came about. So if trees around you have produced fruit and not yours, there might not be enough bees to do the job. And we have this week's job hunt for you. First, Spectrum Retirement Communities is looking for a business office manager, which would include managing the business office, front desk files, and answering phones. Next, a restaurant is coming to Shelby, La Cucina del Vino. They need experienced servers, bartenders, and food runners. Next, Crank's Catering is looking for hardworking catering assistants. Duties would be setup and takedown of events. You must have an ambition for food and customer service. And our last job, FedEx in Shelby Township is hiring a customer service associate. You would coordinate projects, manage retail support, and help customers. Those are your job searches for this week. Go to shelbytv.org for more information. Coming up next, looking for a new fitness routine? We've got something for you after the break. Welcome back to Shelby This Week. We have a treat for you. We're here with Nick Buckler, reporter, and we're talking about health and fitness. What do you have for us?
Well, Meg, thanks for having me back. And I know a lot of people are just like me, where they want to kind of be improve on their fitness, and they just don't know how to get started. I'm going to be training for the Running with Heroes run that you mentioned earlier, and I'm just not really in the best shape. I'm kind of more of a couch kind of guy, and there's an app called Couch to 5K that is good to get started for people like myself. So I turned to a certified personal trainer, and he's a good friend of mine, Todd Macklid, and I met with him earlier in the week, and he showed me just how to get started. What do we have to do to get started?
Well, thanks for having me on the segment, first of all, Nick. Once you have decided that you want to start running, whether it be a 5K, 10K, half marathon, whatever it is, the first thing I would say you should do is make sure you have a good pair of running shoes. A good pair of running shoes will help protect you against the aches and pains that can come with running. The easiest way to do that, I would say, is to find a local running shop. There's a lot of good ones in the area. Just Google running shop. You'll find one to go to. What they'll do is they'll look at your walking stride, they'll look at your running stride, and from that, they will help you determine the type of support that is right for you for your running shoe.
Excellent. Is there any type of form or anything that will make me more efficient in starting off when it comes to running?
Definitely. Before you even start running, once you have those running shoes, you want to make sure that you know the correct running form. You want to make sure the idea is to be as efficient as possible and burn as little energy as you can. Starting with your posture, you want to make sure you have your head up, your eyes straight, you're leading with your eyes. Shoulders, you want them to be nice and relaxed and loose. You don't want to be tight and tense. Next thing, your elbows, your arms. You want to make sure you're at 90 degrees, palms open. You don't want to be clenched. You want to be relaxed. But then if you find yourself in your run, you find yourself getting tense here, just let it all go, shake it out, and then get back to your relaxed running form.
I think Taylor Swift said it best in Shake It Off, right?
She did say it pretty good.
She did. A few $1 billion worth of saying it.
Another important aspect of form is going to be how you strike with your feet. Running long distances, you want to make sure that when you land, that you are landing directly under your center of mass. So along with everything else that we went through, head up, eyes forward, shoulders relaxed, hands relaxed at a 90-degree angle. And also make sure your arms are moving with your stride. You don't want to be going side to side. Outside, you want to be as efficient as possible in your running.
Okay, that's good to know. Can I still eat McDonald's or Wendy's and just chug Pops all the time, or do I kind of have to structure my diet a little bit?
Not all the time. Cheating's okay every now and then. You know, we're all human. But no doubt you want to make sure you're getting all your food groups. You're eating organic food the best you can, drinking a lot of water, and you'll be running a 5K in no time.
Wow, that was some really great fitness information, Nick.
Yeah, it really was. It's definitely a step in the right direction. Taking the form, the diet, and the app just to get started and do something that hopefully I'll love in the future.
Yes, and you are always very fit and active, but this is something else now that you know how to do to help you.
Exactly. It's a never-ending repertoire, if you will, and it's, like I said, a step in the right direction from a great personal trainer.
Excellent. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Thank you.
And that's Shelby This Week. You can watch us online all the time at shelbytv.org. And don't forget to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/ShelbyTWPTV. Thanks for watching.